Welcome to Discover Your Destiny with Joe Carrillo. The dictionary defines destiny as an inevitable course of events, and many believe they have no control over their destiny. But the Bible teaches that our destiny is determined by our choices. For the next 30 minutes, you'll discover spiritual truths that will help you in making the right choices for your life. You will find that God has an eternal destiny for each of us, as well as an earthly destiny and purpose. Each week, Joe Carrillo speaks into the lives of people from all walks of life, and today could be your day to discover your destiny.
So today I want to, for a few minutes, share concerning this particular painting, which is entitled Forgiven. As I mentioned, it was given to me by a pastor friend. And I thought it was very significant because I believe it's a beautiful reminder of what God has done in our lives. It's a beautiful reminder of where we were and where we came from. It's a beautiful portrait and depiction of redemption. And every part of this particular painting has a significance. I cannot help but feel that the hand of God was on Thomas Blackshear when he painted this picture, because it does depict so beautifully the story of redemption, the story of salvation. My story, your story, our story. For we were all this individual. And it's only because of Christ that we today know the hope that we have. It is because of him that we today are no longer sinners, but saints. No longer lost, but saved. No longer in darkness, but in light. No longer filled with all the heartaches that comes, but we have an underlying joy that is always there, that supersedes everything else. And I'm so thankful for that. Because I've been through some discouraging times. And I've been through some heartaches. And I'm sure you have also. And it's always been a wonder to me that no matter how difficult things may get, and no matter how hard things may get at times, and no matter how discouraged I may get when I think I can't get any lower than this, and there's not going to be any reason to have joy or to have any kind of happiness, any kind of peace. But it seems like when I get to that place, somewhere down deep inside, something begins to bubble from within. The undergirding of the joy of the Lord, which is our strength. There's just something about it that it just begins to come up and begin to well up within your spirit. And even though mentally it doesn't make any sense to feel this way, sometimes you want to feel bad. Sometimes you want to have a pity party. Sometimes you're throwing a celebration of pity and you're inviting all the individuals that you want there. You know, the discouragement, and you invite anger, and you invite pity's already having the party, so you're inviting all these other things to your party, and you want to feel that way. But it just seems like every time you find yourself there, joy comes knocking on the door. The joy of the Lord and the peace of God that passes all understanding finds its way into that pity party and messes it all up. Messes it all up, doesn't he? I mean, when you think I'm feeling pretty good in my pity, I'm feeling pretty good in my discouragement or whatever it may be. I've been insulted, I've been ridiculed, people have abused me, and all this stuff, and oh me, oh my, all of a sudden, God intervenes. And I tell you what, there's nothing that turns that party around, that pity party around, than God showing up. When he begins to remind you, so they don't like you, but I love you. and they may talk things bad about you, but look what I said about you. And they might walk away from you, but I'll never walk away from you. I will stick closer than a brother. I will be with you even unto the end of the world. I am with you always, and I will always be with you. This is what I've done for you. This is what I think of you. This is what I've given you. And it isn't long until you realize, wait a minute. There's no reason to have a pity party. I need to have a praise party because God has been good to me and he has provided all that I need for my soul and for my spirit. And it doesn't matter the things that I may face. I know that my Redeemer liveth and he will care for me. So you will see this picture hung on the wall. And I hope that it will be a reminder every time you glance that direction and see it. You may come sad. You may come discouraged. You may come facing difficulties. But hopefully this will be a reminder that the greatest difficulty of all was overcome by Jesus Christ. And if he can handle your salvation, he can handle anything else. How much more can he give you than he already has given? Himself a ransom for us. That's how much he loved us. I've mentioned this a few times, and I'll mention it one more time as I close. I take my little grandson every day into my arms, and I say, do you know how much I love you? Do you know how much I love you? And I cannot say that without hearing an echo in my mind and heart of my Heavenly Father saying those same words to me. When I'm full of disappointment, when I'm full of discouragement, when I'm wondering what is going on, I hear those words, do you know how much I love you? Do you know how much I love you? I don't think he realizes it yet. When I pick him up and he is stinky, 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 and I go in to change his diaper, and sometimes I have to change his diaper and his clothes. Sometimes I have to change his diaper and his clothes and put him in the bath and wash him off too. Sometimes you have to go to the extreme to get him clean, but I do it because I love him. And I'm going to let him live in filth. I'm going to allow him to be that way. And so God takes us when we find ourselves filthy, when we find ourselves dirty. And he takes us and he washes us and he changes us. And he bathes us, as it were, by his Spirit. The Bible speaks about the washing of the Word. We hear the Word. It can wash over our souls and washes of sin and washes of so many things. Do you know how much I love you? He's saying it every time he does that. When he's there through the discouraging moments, he's saying, do you know how much I love you? When he picks you up after you've fallen for the 1 millionth time, he says, do you know how much I love you? Let's stand.
Thank you for joining us for today's program. Joe Carrillo wants you to know that your life can be filled with meaning and purpose. Because life is full of hard choices, we want to help you make the right ones. In fact, our internet website has a number of wonderful resources available to help you in your decision-making. At newdestinycenter.com, you'll find streaming audio and video of Joe's messages as well as other resources. So check us out on the web at newdestinycenter.com. That's newdestinycenter.com. If you live in the Sacramento area, we invite you to join us at New Destiny Center in McClellan Park. We are one of the newest multicultural, non-denominational churches around. You can find directions on our website at newdestinycenter.com. God has a wonderful purpose for your life, So join us every week and discover your destiny.